I'm gonna be honest, I really shouldn't even need to be making this video right now. But I took one look at the generation that I'm living in, and it appears to me that the world needs this video, so here I am. Focus on yourself. Alright? The generation I'm living in, it appears to me that no one seems to know what that is anymore. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this saying before. And if you haven't heard it before, well, you're hearing it first from me, so listen up. And if you have heard it before, a lot of you guys probably ignored it and act like you didn't even hear it. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you're actually trying to improve your life and flip your life around, because a lot of you guys are probably just living some average, boring old life, you know, not really getting much out of life. And if you want to have an amazing life experience before you get clapped, well, watch this video until the very end. All right, so a lot of people have the misunderstanding and the myth that focusing on yourself is selfish and that you should just spend your whole entire life catering to other people's feet and just basically being doormats for other people. And I'm here to tell you, focusing on yourself is not selfish, all right? It can be depending on how extreme you take it. Obviously, if someone, you know, needs your help severely and they never wronged you before and you're just choosing not to help them, that's a little selfish. But there's a difference between focusing on yourself and being selfish, all right? And I'm here to tell you that just focusing on yourself is not selfish. And I'm gonna give you some real life examples of how trying to help other people when you haven't focused on yourself can actually do the opposite of bettering them, and it could actually be harmful for both of you. So here's a real life example. Imagine you're always helping people out, never caring about yourself, always just living for other people, right? And people just always take advantage of that and always just ask you for favors. And eventually, one day, someone asks you for the wrong favor and you just snap. And all of a sudden, you do some out of pure anger because you're just so tired of people always just taking from you and you never focus on yourself. And then you just snap and do something that harms both of you. All right, you get what I'm saying? That's just some random example I just came off the top of my head. But you know what I'm saying? Like, eventually, if you don't focus on yourself enough, eventually that's going to come to backfire you and potentially other people. So instead of thinking that focusing on yourself is selfish, it's actually not. It really isn't. And even if it is, all right, who cares? Honestly, to be real with you, your mental health, since it is your life, is more important than anyone else's mental health. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. Like just realize that at the end of the day, it's really only your life. Like, you only live once, to be honest. So you might as well make sure that you're having the best life that you can while you're here. You know what I'm saying? Since you only technically live once in the body that you're in right now. All right, so now that you know how important focusing on yourself is, I'm about to be telling you guys some tips on how to focus on yourself, because some of you guys probably heard this and didn't even know what it meant. So I'm about to be helping you guys out. Do you honestly know how many problems could be avoided if literally everyone just focused on themselves? Literally, like, all the problems in the world would pretty much be avoided. Like, this world will honestly be so peaceful if everyone just took the time to focus on yourself. And you want to know the best way to change the world? Change the man in the mirror. Literally, Michael Jackson said it himself. If you focus on yourself, that will start the domino effect of other people focusing on yourself, which then in turn will change the world. So if everyone was to focus on themselves, this world would be a better place. Especially in times like this. As you can see with what's going on in the world, I'm going to be honest with you, I barely even know what's going on in the world. You want to know why? Because I focus on myself. I don't watch the news, so I'm not caught up to date on this useless BS knowledge. All of it's cap anyways. Like, the news is, so I don't understand what the point of the news is, to be honest. It's just fear-based. Like, that's the whole entire purpose of the news. They just strike fear down your throats. And people really be eating it up and running with it, but that's for a whole different story. And nowadays, like, no one's really focusing on themselves. As you can see, like, 99% of the world is just engulfed in social media, and at this rate, I don't even know where the world's headed, to be honest. Like, at this rate, AI is taking over, but that's for another video as well. Now that you know what focusing on yourself is, I'm about to be telling you guys exactly how to do it. All right, step number 1 is to take social media breaks, because a lot of people are addicted to social media. I mean, a lot, especially my generation, the age gap that I'm in. A lot of people are just scrolling on TikTok all day. I don't see why. TikTok is cancer. Like, that app is honestly one of the most cancerous apps, honestly. Like, I don't understand how people spend so many hours on there a day. But, hey, to each their own. But honestly, if you're really trying to improve your life, take breaks from social media. Because I hope you realize all those hours that you're spending scrolling on social media, you are not focusing on yourself. There's no way you could be scrolling on Instagram and TikTok and be focusing on yourself at the same time. Like, when you're over here liking other people's posts, scrolling for hours on other people's stuff, you're literally doing the opposite of focusing on yourself. You're literally living other people's lives. You're like, oh my God, look at Kim K's new horse riding pic. Oh my God, Ronald McDonald just dropped a new, like, you're not focusing on yourself at all. And you gain nothing from that. Like, you literally gain nothing from that. I'm not saying you have to cut it out completely, because some of you guys are probably honestly into that. I'm just saying that instead of doing it for 6-10 hours a day, try only doing it for like 4 hours, then cut it down to 2 hours, then cut it down to 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, slowly but surely actually start living life. Because when you're on social media all those hours, you're not living life. You're living other people's lives, just scrolling your life away. And then when you end up on your deathbed, about to say your last words, you're going to look back at your life and be like, wow, I did nothing from when I came out the womb till I ended up here, but scroll on Instagram. That's literally all I did all my life. That's literally what you're going to say. So do you honestly want your life to be like that? Sadly enough, someone's probably going to say yes. But you know what? This video is not meant for them. So that's number one. Do some social media detoxing. Number two, stop watching the news, because it's the same thing with social media. You really can't focus on yourself if all you're doing is inhaling the fear-based news that they give you on Fox News, ABC News, whatever. ABC News, I'm not even going to talk about them. That's for a whole different story. But detox from things that don't matter. Things like that. Because I hope you realize that is just creating a reality. All that fear-based stuff that you be seeing on news, it's just going to get sucked into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is going to start creating more realities like that, because that's how your mind works. Everything you see on a daily basis, your mind just keeps manifesting similar outcomes like that. All right, here's an example of real life how this works. Why do you think 9 times out of 10 people that grow up in the hood, people that grow up in poor neighborhoods, end up just stuck in that cycle, and no matter how hard they try, they never make it out and they never become successful? And why do you think on the opposite end, people that grow up in white Caucasian neighborhoods, people that grow up with rich, wealthy parents, end up not only inheriting the family money, but then make more of it, and they just keep making more and more money and just keep getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier? You want to know why? Because whatever your mind is around the most, whatever you see on the daily, whatever you consume through your eyes, all that, it literally becomes your reality. That's just how manifestation works. Whatever you see the most, your mind is going to start, you're just going to start attracting more things that are similar to that. That's why literally people get stuck in that cycle of either being poor or being rich. Because if you those rich people that grew up in that Caucasian neighborhoods, they never felt what it's like to be homeless. They never grew up like that. So that their mind doesn't even know what being homeless or being poor feels like. So of course they're not gonna end up in those situations, because their mind just only knows what being rich is like. It's the same thing for people that be on social media every single day. If you're just consuming whatever you're consuming on social media, that just goes straight into your mind, and you'd be wondering why you attract certain things that you do, why you attract certain things that you don't want into your life. Probably because all you're doing is consuming negativity on social media, all this fear from the news, anything like that. It's just all going to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind creates your reality. And what you feed your subconscious mind becomes physical. So all that time you spend on social media, you can't control what you see on social media. You might be scrolling on Instagram and all of a sudden you see some depressing post. And now all of a sudden your whole day is ruined because you saw that. Now all of a sudden you're depressed because you found out something bad happened on social media. Well, guess what? If you're focusing on yourself and you weren't on social media to begin with, your whole day wouldn't have been ruined. You would have been just fine. You would have been feeling great. I know this happens to plenty of people. They be scrolling on social media as soon as they wake up. They find out something negative happened. All of a sudden their whole day is ruined. They let that one thing ruin their whole entire day. They could have had an amazing day, could have done some amazing things, but nope. They decided to wake up and go on social media. Guess what? If you're focusing on yourself, that would have never happened. You would have never had your whole day ruined. You probably could have done something awesome that day. That's why it's very important to focus on yourself. Literally detox from social media and watch how your life changes. And anyone saying that is not real, all right, detox from social media and prove me wrong. Like literally, if you take, you don't even have to detox for that long. Literally, a day or two max, you'll notice a difference. If you go for a whole week with no social media, you will literally overcome so many things. You might be thinking, oh, that's so boring, I can never. But by like day 3, 4, boredom won't even exist anymore. People will be wondering why they're so bored, because you be giving your brain so much dopamine from all this social media that it's not natural for your brain, all right? Your brain isn't meant to get all this dopamine. I hope you realize every time you post on social media, get some likes, get all that, it's all just straight dopamine, and that's not natural for your brain. Your brain is meant to work for dopamine, but if you're just on social media all day getting dopamine from Instagram, instant gratification, that is tricking your brain and not in a negative way. Where that's why you begin bored so easily. That's why you have no attention span. That's why your life is going downhill. All right, so Literally something as simple as taking a social media detox could literally change your life. That's number one of how you focus on yourself. Number two, cut out people that don't positively serve you, all right? If you're hanging around bot friends, people that are just weighing you down, you're not focusing on yourself. You're trying to hang out with them, because it seems so fun, it seems so cool. Maybe you're having the time of your life when you hang around them, but at the end of the day, if they're dragging you into situations that do not positively serve you, they're not the best for you, all right? They're holding you down. Imagine you're trying to like fly away and they're just anchors holding you down. That's what you might be going through, and that you need to cut people out like that. If that's what your friends are, you need to stop hanging out with them, or at least hang out with them way less. You might be able to hang out with them every once in a while, but don't be hanging out with them daily if they're just gonna weigh you down. That's number two. Start just being around yourself more. Number three, to focus on yourself, is start doing some self-isolation. Way too many people only feel happy or feel whole and complete when they're hanging out with someone else, or when they're talking to someone else, or when they have a partner that they're dating. Way too many people rely on other people for some sense of happiness. And I hope you guys realize that that is the worst way you can get happiness. Because yes, you can get happiness or whatever you're looking for that way, but it's not permanent. That's not even real happiness to begin with. Real happiness comes from within, which you'll only achieve from focusing on yourself. Happiness cannot be permanent from someone else, because as soon as that person leaves, there goes your happiness, and you'll be more in a deeper hole than you were before you even met them, because now you feel like you're just nothing without them. You became so attached to them, and then when they leave, it's over. That is not the world, that is not the life that you want to live. That is not how you want to get your happiness. You got to find true happiness from within, because the best happiness actually comes from within. All right, happiness from other people is cool and all, but it's nothing compared to the happiness and the wholeness and completion that you find from within. Because honestly, I'm at the point where I don't even need a girlfriend, because like what is there for me to gain from her at this point? Honestly, like I'd be finding more happiness by myself, because you don't gotta deal with no drama of other people. You don't gotta deal with other people's energies and like them bringing up useless stuff toward you. Like you don't have to deal with none of that. It's just you, and I don't be making myself mad. Other people can make me mad, but I don't make myself mad. So it's just way better that way. You know what I'm saying? You need to find true happiness from within, because that's the best happiness. That's the level everyone's supposed to be at, all happy within. And also, you got to find love within yourself, because how do you expect to love someone else when you don't even love yourself? Like, that don't even make no sense. Like, you're trying to love someone else, but you don't even love yourself. That's just working backwards. You're literally trying to give something that you don't even know what true love is, all right? We live in a day and age where so many people think that you can get happiness and like feel the sense of being whole and complete from materialistic things or some significant other or money, and it's just none of it's true. The only real happiness, the only long-term happiness comes from within, because people believe the saying money gives you happiness, which I'm not gonna lie, money will give you pleasure, but there's a difference between pleasure and true happiness. Money will give you pleasure, but eventually that pleasure is going to wear out, all right? I know everyone's been to the point where they bought some, they felt so good about it, they're like, oh my God, I feel so happy. Next thing you know, next day, they want some more. When is it going to be enough? You just keep wanting. When is it eventually going to be enough? And the answer is never. If that's how you get happiness, you'll never be completely satisfied. You could literally have the whole world, and you still would feel like you need more. But if you go within and focus on yourself, you'll realize all you need is within you. And people want to believe this saying, oh, money brings you happiness, but that's just not true. People also got to remember there's a saying called more money, more problems. The more money you gather, the more you realize money doesn't bring happiness. And then you start feeling bad because you spend your whole entire life chasing something, thinking that it'll bring you happiness. And then when you finally got it, you realized it doesn't bring you anything. That's why you got to find it within yourself. All right, the last tip I'm going to give you guys in this video is number 4, I think, is start doing something that's going to better you physically and spiritually, mentally, whatever. Just do something that's going to better you every single day. Whether that be working out, meditating, journaling, just something that's going to improve you either physically, spiritually, and mentally. If you can improve yourself in all 3 every single day, you're on target for success. But even if you only do something that's going to improve you in one of those ways every single day, you're still doing amazing, better than the average person, to be honest. If you're like, it doesn't take much to work out every single day. Even some slight, like 20 push-ups, 100 push-ups, you know what I'm saying? Like some easy, and then you can work your way up. Something that's at least going to make you a better person than you were yesterday. Your goal shouldn't be to compare yourself to others, but to compare yourself to yourself. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to someone who's literally way different than you, and maybe they got some more advantages that you don't have. Don't stop comparing yourself to them. Compare yourself to yourself and make yourself the best version of yourself. Do something like be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Do something like meditating, which improves you spiritually and mentally. It literally allows you to clear your mind. It literally just gives you inner peace. Do something like journaling, where you can write out your thoughts and just really analyze what you be thinking on a daily, instead of just letting your thoughts take over your reality. Do something like those that actually better you. And that brings me on to my next tip. I know I said that was the last tip, but this is for all the real ones that stuck around. Looks like you get a secret bonus tip. Stop comparing yourself to others. I know that nowadays, with this whole social media lifestyle and all this social media stuff, people always be comparing themselves to others. And it's just a natural thing. I don't know why. I guess this is part of human nature, but you need to stop doing it, because you literally gain nothing from it. If anything, it just makes you feel lower about yourself, which is not how you should be feeling on a daily. You need to stop comparing yourself to others and stop trying to be like others, and just be yourself. Literally focus on yourself and become yourself. Stop trying to compare your success and where you are in life to other people, because you have to remind yourself that everyone goes through life at a different pace. Some people might naturally just, be more successful at a younger age. That doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. It just means your time hasn't come yet. So instead of focusing on yourself and bringing yourself down, comparing yourself to others, like that, realize that your time hasn't come yet, and just keep focusing on yourself, and eventually your time will come. But hey, I hope someone benefit from this video. Thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the subscribe button, obliterate it, leave a like, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a future upload, and share with a friend, someone who needs this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Come on, caw-caw! Well, I thought I pressed it. You gotta be kidding me.